In a quiet monastery nestled among misty mountains of Japan, a young monk named Kenta sat restlessly beneath a blooming cherry tree. He had been meditating for hours, yet his mind kept wandering like a leaf in the wind. He longed for enlightenment, but did not know where to find it. One day, the head monk announced that the great Zen master Hakuin was visiting the monastery. The students were told that Hakuin would give each of them a koan, a riddle beyond reason, to test their awareness. Excitement and fear rippled through the temple. When Kenta's turn came, he bowed deeply before Master Hakuin. The old master's eyes were sharp like lightning, yet gentle as still water. He asked in a calm voice, "Young monk, what is the sound of one hand clapping?" Kenta froze. He had heard of this question before, famous among monks for driving minds to the edge of reason. But how could one hand make a sound? Hakuin smiled slightly and said, "Do not answer with words. Go and listen until you can." Then he dismissed the monk with a wave of his hand. Kenta bowed again and returned to his small cell. He sat cross-legged, raised one hand, and stared at it. Silence. Only the wind rustled outside. He clapped his hands together. Sound. He tried one hand. Nothing. He waved it in the air, tapped his knee, brushed his ear. Still, no sound of one hand. Days turned into weeks. Kenta tried everything, striking the air, touching walls, snapping fingers. The more he searched for the sound, the further it seemed to drift away. He began to dream of hands. Hands clapping, hands reaching, hands empty. In his sleep, the master's voice echoed, "Listen beyond the ears." Frustrated, Kenta returned to Master Hakuin. He bowed and said, "Master, I cannot find the sound. There is no sound with one hand." Hakuin's eyes narrowed. "Then why do you speak of it?" "Go back," said Hakuin. "You have not yet listened with your whole being. When you truly hear it," the master's voice was firm, yet filled with kindness. Kenta returned once again. He began to sit before dawn and stay long after nightfall, listening to every sound. The rain, the birds, the wind, even the beating of his heart. He listened until the sound of the temple bell no longer came from outside, but echoed softly within his chest. He began to feel that the whole world was one sound, rising and fading with each breath. Weeks passed again. One morning, as the wind swept through the pines, he raised his hand to brush away a falling leaf. In that instant, time stopped. He suddenly understood. The sound of one hand was not something to hear with the ears. It was awareness itself. It was the sound of silence before sound. That afternoon, he returned to Master Hakuin and bowed deeply. The master looked at him, eyes bright as a blade. "Well," he asked, "what is the sound of one hand?" Kenta raised his hand slowly. He did not speak. He simply breathed. The silence between them became vast and full, like the ocean before dawn. Hakuin nodded, a faint smile touching his lips. He struck his staff on the floor once. Ka! The sound exploded in the silence like thunder. Kenta did not flinch. The thunderous sound and the silence were one. He bowed deeply, understanding that enlightenment was not in finding answers, but in being awake to every moment. That night, as the temple slept, Kenta sat once more beneath the cherry tree. The petals fell silently, one by one, and he smiled. He no longer sought the sound. He was the sound. And so the lesson of the sound of one hand lived on through generations.